Aren't you the most magnificent thing?
Ever wondered how filmmakers turn a ridiculous concept like accidentally running over a mythical creature into a dark comedy that actually works? Today on Movies Unbound, we're taking you behind the curtain of cinema's strangest new hit. From the moment Alex Scharfman pitched, "It's like E.T. meets the Abyss, but with unicorns and billionaires," to the final edit that saved the third act, this video shows every triumph and disaster that shaped Death of a Unicorn. From ridiculous idea to mythological masterpiece. Ever wonder where the strange idea of hitting a unicorn with your car came from? For Alex Scharfman, it all started with one odd image that stuck in his mind. But turning this weird thought into a full movie didn't happen right away. The idea stayed with him for years, but he couldn't figure out what to do with it. Everything changed when Scharfman visited the Met Cloisters in Manhattan. There, he saw the famous unicorn tapestries that sparked something deeper. These ancient works showed unicorns as pure beings that humans wanted to catch and use. This visit was a turning point that helped shape the whole story. What's really interesting is how old unicorn stories are. Scharfman found that the first written account of a unicorn goes back to 398 BC. That's over 2,400 years ago. Even more surprising, these ancient tales match up with modern ones. As Scharfman put it, the first unicorn story is almost identical to the latest. One thing has always stayed the same. Unicorns were valued for their healing powers. This old lore gave Scharfman a way to connect medieval myths with modern greed. He started to mix unicorn legends with a story about today's drug companies. The Sackler family, known for their role in the opioid crisis, became a real-world model for the film's themes about wealth and moral failings. Scharfman wanted to take aim at the super rich and big pharma. He said, "There's something juicy about pharmaceuticals writ large in our current stage of capitalism. Profit is still the ends." He saw a clear link between ancient unicorn lore, where unicorns were prized for their healing powers, and today's profit-hungry drug industry. With his script taking shape, Scharfman wrote the main role with Paul Rudd in mind. Once Rudd joined, doors opened. Scharfman sent the script to Jenna Ortega just before her big break in Netflix Wednesday. Her casting helped bring the father-daughter story to life. Scharfman aimed to blend unicorn myths with creature features in a new way. He wanted to flip what viewers expected while still giving them something satisfying, just not in the way they thought they'd get it. Creating killer unicorns, practical effects, meet digital magic. Think unicorns are just pretty horses with horns? The creatures in Death of a Unicorn combine elephant feet, lion tails, and eagle talons into something that feels both ancient and terrifying. But bringing these monsters to life required some old-school movie magic. When the production team started designing their unicorns, they faced a major problem. How could they turn rainbow-colored fantasy creatures into something that could actually kill people? The answer came from looking at old unicorn stories rather than modern fairy tales. It was really important throughout the whole process to have as much as possible practical elements in place, not just for the actors, but for me composing shots, explained director Alex Scharfman. This meant creating real things the actors could see and touch during filming. The team didn't make just one type of unicorn, they made 3 different kinds, each with its own scary features. The baby unicorn looks more like a goat, the female unicorn resembles a horse. But the male unicorn is the scariest, a bull-like beast that could tear you apart. To make these creatures feel real, the design team mixed parts from many animals. They gave them elephant-like feet, tails like lions, teeth like mandrills, and sharp talons like eagles. This created monsters that seemed like they could have actually lived long ago. During filming, actors didn't have to pretend the unicorns were there. They worked with real horses, large puppets, and fake unicorn heads. This helped them give better performances because they could see and touch something real. But making unicorns scary wasn't just about how they looked. Sound designer Damien Volpe created unique noises for them by mixing recordings of horses, lions, buffalo, birds, and elephants. When you hear a unicorn roar in the movie, you're actually hearing a mix of all these animals. The unicorns even move in a special way. They don't run like horses. Instead, they move more like big cats, prowling around their prey. The team had to change the creature's spine structure to make this work. Several effects companies worked together on the film. Zoic Studios handled the digital effects, while Film Effects built the puppets. Scharfman said the best scenes in the movie are ones that mix real puppets with computer effects. This gave both actors and viewers something that feels real enough to touch. Building the Leopold Ranch. a playground for destruction. Creating the Leopold Ranch proved to be much more challenging than the design team expected. While the unicorn monsters needed to feel real, they also needed the perfect place to hunt their human prey. The production team faced a unique problem. How do you build a North American-style mansion in Hungary where wealthy people typically live in modern homes or ancient castles? After a long search, they found an abandoned horse ranch outside Budapest. The location was perfect because it resembled the castle from the famous unicorn tapestries. But the ranch wasn't fancy enough to look like a billionaire's home. The team had to roll up their sleeves and finish building parts of it themselves. We had to add a stone gate and patio to make it look more expensive. Production designer Amy Williams explained, "These touches helped transform a simple horse ranch into what looked like a multi-million-dollar property." For the inside of the house, Williams and her team spent 3 months building sets on a soundstage. They created a maze-like home with lots of places for characters to hide during the scary unicorn attacks. This design wasn't random. It was carefully planned to build tension. As Scharfman pointed out, part of the pleasure of making this kind of movie is knowing the monsters are outside the house until suddenly they are inside the house. And by the time they are inside the house, the audience needs to know how the house works so we can feel suspense in the right moments. The colors used throughout the Leopold home weren't chosen by chance either. Williams took colors directly from the unicorn tapestries, creating a visual link to the mythology at the heart of the film. The set also contains many hidden jokes viewers might miss. There's a fancy coffee table book titled Pills, a comprehensive compendium of pharmacology's most beautiful tablets and capsules. Another clever detail shows Belinda Leopold on the cover of Philanthropy magazine for her Chairs for Children program, making fun of the shallow charity work often done by the super rich. The design of the Leopold Ranch was meant to show how the ultra-wealthy try to seem in touch with nature while actually living in extreme luxury. The ultra-wealthy often try to portray themselves as living in nature while actually residing in luxury, noted Scharfman. This fake connection to the natural world makes it even more fitting when nature, in the form of killer unicorns, comes to destroy their carefully crafted paradise. Keeping a straight face. The acting challenge of Death of a Unicorn. While the Leopold Ranch was designed to look perfect on camera, Jenna Ortega faced a completely different kind of monster behind the scenes. Her biggest challenge wasn't the killer unicorns. It was trying not to laugh while filming serious scenes. "I mean this in the kindest way possible. I could not trust anyone on this set," Ortega revealed about her experience. "I couldn't make eye contact with anybody. I didn't want to look at certain people." As the moral center of the film, her character Ridley needed to remain grounded and serious, even when surrounded by comedic chaos. Director Alex Scharfman made a bold choice that added to Ortega's challenge. He asked her to play her character as real and grounded as possible, while letting the rest of the cast adopt more theatrical and comedic styles. This created a unique balance of performance types that made the film work, but put extra pressure on Ortega. She described filming as brutal because of the emotional intensity required. It was talking to brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. Like, every day it was just, more and more intense. This was made even harder when her fellow actors improvised funny lines that threatened to break her serious character. One scene proved particularly difficult for Ortega to film. Anthony Carrigan walked by with a clock, saying, "This isn't the best use of time." Ortega confessed, "There's not one take where I look in that direction," without breaking character. These constant tests of her acting focus became a daily battle. Despite these challenges, something special happened between Ortega and Paul Rudd. Their on-screen father-daughter relationship grew from a natural chemistry that developed during filming. Ortega called Rudd supportive and just incredible to work with, explaining that he created a safe and comfortable environment on set. The entire cast grew close during the production, building bonds that helped them manage the film's wild shifts in tone. This tight-knit group supported each other through the demanding performances the story required. Rudd acknowledged the tricky balance they had to strike, saying, "It's really a strange balance, and it's wild to see all of these different styles in one film, but yeah, it all works together in a cool way." So, what exactly was Alex Scharfman trying to do with a movie about hitting a unicorn with your car? In his own words, he created something that enjoys being a movie. The film boldly embraces what creature features do best while telling a story that hits home on deeper levels. I think there's something intentionally unsubtle about the movie. Scharfman explains, pointing to our unsubtle times as inspiration for this approach. The film walks a tightrope between horror and satire, never shy about its messages on family bonds and human greed. Scharfman hopes Death of a Unicorn might become somebody's favorite movie, the kind that invites you to return to it again and again for the sheer fun of it. His ambitious vision proves that even the wildest ideas can become something special when given room to grow. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Movies Unbound for more videos. See you next time!